Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Theater on the Web series. And I'm your host, Mr. Hillary, teaching you all the things about the dramatic arts, acting, and putting it on the camera. So this week is going to be a really good one because we're finally at the time that we're going to be doing the dun 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 dun, the dramatic monologue. Woo! It's time. So I'm excited. I hope you're excited. So a few weeks ago, if you were tuning in, every week we did some comedy monologues, and then now we learned how we're going to turn those comedy monologues into something that really has a little bit of us. We're going to do the same thing with the dramatic monologue. So I'm excited. I hope you're excited. So get ready as we tackle this idea of the dramatic monologue, how to do them, how to put them on the camera, and how to reveal a little bit of yourself in the work that you do. Stay tuned. It's going to be a good one. So, when we're talking about this idea of the dramatic monologue, we got to think about the term. What is a dramatic monologue? Well, the idea of a dramatic monologue, think about that word drama. So we've learned in the past that the word drama translates from the Greek word which translates to act. To act means what? To do. So anything that's dramatic, meaning that something's going to really be happening. So there's a lot of doings that happen in the dramatic monologues. I think the thing that makes it makes a little difference is our very first lesson. We talked about this idea of silly to serious. And if you think about a comedy monologue being crazily silly, then you got to think of the dramatic monologue being crazy serious. And that's the big part of the dramatic monologue. So usually the dramatic monologue, in the monologue itself, there's something that happens in the monologue that causes it to be dramatic. So usually the subject matter of what the monologue is about, which kind of will determine whether it's a comedy or a dramatic monologue. But for our purposes today, a dramatic monologue is a monologue that has something very serious to say. It's a serious time that the person speaking, the actor, the actress, is engaging with somebody for something that's really serious and something that's really important, and the stakes are usually very, very high. That makes the dramatic monologue really live in a really creative way. So in our next section, we're going to be looking at how to bring the dramatic monologue to life and then how to put that onto the camera. So when we're talking about how to bring the dramatic monologue to life, what you have to remember is two things. I always like to think of it this way. Even if you're doing comedy, the flip of it is the drama, right? So there's always a little bit of two. Remember our drama mask. The drama mask reminds us that it's both sides of the puzzle. Comedy and tragedy. Happy and sad. So no matter what you're doing, all of the work should have elements of both, even if it's more focused on one or the other. The reason why I believe it should always have both is because we are people. And usually the essence of any character you create is coming from you. And we as people are very unique, interesting people. And we have shades of sad, shades of happy. In the midst of the most awful times, you might find a moment to laugh. And in the most funny times, you may find a moment to cry. So it can really go either way, depending on what's happening. And I really want to stress this point as we're looking at the dramatic monologues, because a big novice thing to do with a dramatic monologue is that you take out all of the humor because what's happening is dramatic. So you're like, oh my God, I can't do it. And I remember a few years ago, there was this movie that came out and it was kind of a big hit, and it was called Precious. And Precious was a drama, definitely. And it was like very dramatic things that were happening in it. And, I really appreciated the director and the actors in that movie, in that picture, because in spite of what was happening in the story that was really, really heart-wrenching and sometimes very tough to watch, the director was able to find moments of joy and happiness in the midst of all of that sadness. And that's what I'm going to be looking for with you. And that's what I would urge you as an artist to really put into your work, especially in the drama. I think of some of the best actors who do dramatic work out there. Whenever you watch them and watch the work that they really do something really unique and really cool with how they go about bringing the dramatic work to life. And there's always be this human element. And remember, more than anything with dramatic works is that it has to keep moving. Like the acting just can't stay still. Like you just can't play one note. Like if the monologue seems very serious, then you can't be serious the whole time, because it's boring and nobody wants to watch that same note. It's kind of boring. There was this game that's called Pong. He was like, boop, 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 boop. It has to have a lot of stuff happening, okay? So that's kind of what you have to create in the work that you do. You have to remember that even though it is a dramatic monologue, there needs to be a place of some comedy in there somewhere. Find a place that can be a little humorous or a little bit lighter. It'll help the audience and the people watching what you're doing go on the ride with you, and it makes them feel like they really went somewhere. So if you stay all in the dark place, you really have nowhere to go. So as you are looking at this week's assignment, keep that in mind. You're going to keep in mind that you're going to have a little bit of elements of comedy in your dramatic work, okay? There's a little comedy in your drama. So today's assignment is very simple. So just like we did with the comedy monologues, if you go to our Google Classroom, what you're going to find there is a sheet that says dramatic monologue. And then there's two monologues. There's an A monologue and a B monologue. And so you're going to pick one of those monologues, okay? Once you pick those monologues, what you're going to do, you're going to bring it to life. And don't forget all the things that you're going to do to bring it to life. Don't forget, whenever you record, you're going to make sure you do your slate. That's right. You're going to do your slate. And then you're going to do what? What's next after your slate? You're going to go right into your piece. So you're going to do your slate, which is going to be your name. You're going to do your grade, your homeroom, and then you're going to say, I picked monologue A or I picked monologue B in whatever creative way. And remember that slate is going to be a little bit of what? You. So you got to make sure there's a little bit of your personality in your slate. And then once you finish that part, you're going to jump right into the dramatic monologue that you chose. So the dramatic monologues are pretty open-ended. You can kind of really bring them to life in a very specific way. What I'm looking for, specifically because of what we talked about in today's lesson, I'm looking for actors and actresses who can take those words that are very serious and still find a little bit of humor and lightheartedness in all of that heavy stuff that's happening in the text. So don't forget that. Another tip and point for today's assignment is this. Don't forget, you have to keep remembering about who you're speaking to. And like, what does the character want and the reason why they're saying those words. And keep those things in mind as well. I've also added some additional documents in there to help in our classroom to help you out. There's some additional resources that you can just check out and just really grab upon to really help you bring this character to life. So I'm excited to see this round of videos, to see how we've grown as artists. First of all, just tackling monologues. And then the second of just finding a way to put these works on camera. So as we do, don't forget, we're going to go to israelhillery at achievementfirst.org. That way, you're going to send me a little message, and then I will be able to add you to our Google Classroom, so you'll have access to all the links, all the videos, all the text that's going to help you in our exploration of the dramatic arts. So please reach out to me. And also, we're creating this digital space, not just for me, but for everybody in our platform. So feel free to connect with other people that are taking the class and the works, and really, let's make a big community out of this. I'm looking forward to seeing your works, and I'll see you again very soon.